it's Greg Graffin, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Greg. How you doing? There you are. Bad religion, and what religion is the Brady Fellow of the American Enterprise Institute. Her new book is The War Against Boys, How Misguided Feminism is Harming Our Young Men. Christina Hoff Sommers, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, thank you for getting here. She is a fine actress from all over the galaxy, as Star Trek's counselor, Deanna Troi. Marina Sirtis, ladies and gentlemen. Hey. How are you? Thanks for coming back. A very funny actress and host of the new Comedy Central show, Strip Mall. Oh, she is funny. Julie Brown, right over here. Hello, kitten. Give me a kiss. It's been years. Come on, don't play with me. All right, I love this book. Where are you? Who wrote it? Come on.
I did.
Thank you, show of hands. The War Against Boys, and I'll tell you why, because I've been saying for a long time on this show that, you know, the male agenda is always demonized, and the female agenda is lionized and romanticized. And this book is saying that what we've been hearing, that girls are getting the short shrift, is baloney. You say it's the boys, and I could quote you. That's how prepared I am. Yeah, I have it right here.
The boys are significantly behind girls in most of the ways that count. Just
I hope so.
One statistic.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right, thank you, thank you. Cheap sex joke, go on, Doc.
For example, the average 11th grade boy writes like an 8th grade girl. The reading gap is huge. The college gap, our colleges are now 55% female, 45% male.
Where does this come from, this idea that it's the girls who are in trouble, that somehow they're suffering from...
The girls are shortchanged, diminished, silenced. For about 10 years, we've had some very well-organized women's groups who have argued that girls are shortchanged and silenced, and it was what I tried to do in the War Against Boys is to get the best scholarship I could, to go to the Department of Education, the National Center for Education Statistics, and see how children are really faring, and these women's groups just got it backwards.
Well, maybe the girls are doing better because they're not shackled anymore, and maybe the girls are doing better because they're not being, you know, picked on by the boys, and maybe the girls are doing better because they're allowed to do better now, and maybe girls are just smarter than boys. Hello? You know?
No, that isn't fair. I have a little boy, and he's brilliant. And
oh, I'm sure he is, Julie.
He is brilliant.
I'm sure.
I'll fight you, okay?
Come on.
I'll hit you, Dick.
Oh, celebrity chick fight, I love it.
It's a slap fest.
Yeah.
Are you that part of the philosophy that a friend of mine, David Brooks, calls the women are from Venus, men are from hell?
No, I'm not. I'm actually married and happily married, and I love my husband very dearly, but...
he's just dumber than you.
No, he's not. I just think that you can probably find research to support any argument that you come up with these days.
Especially in social science.
Exactly.
Which is exactly what we're talking about.
Don't you think they used to expect less from girls in the past, but now it's sort of equal?
No, they did. It's true that in the past, girls were held back arbitrarily, and I think we needed a corrective. And I'm not against everything that some of the women's groups did, but they went too far, and they've gone so far.
Maybe it's evolution. Maybe women are supposed to be in charge one day.
Well, maybe you think so.
Hey.
I don't know.
Maybe that...
Oh, right, like you're in charge now.
Right.
Yeah, we're not following you.
Yeah, right. Saddam Hussein, good to see you here.
Maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe that's what's going to happen. Instead of trying to correct it, maybe this is the way evolution is going to go, and it's going to be the time of the woman. And girls are going to, and women will, hey, we might have a woman president one day.
Yeah.
But, you know, excuse me, if men turn into big wusses, we won't want to have sex with them, will we?
You speak for yourself.
True.
Isn't that true?
No.
I mean, it's true.
Right.
If you can absolutely control a guy, do you want him?
It's not about control. It's about it's not about control, because
it is
you're
about
saying
control, and it's about the feminization of little boys. I was able to show they're trying to stop the competitive nature of little boys. Their natural rambunctiousness is being
Excuse me, I'm the most competitive person you will ever meet, and I'm a girl, okay? I watch sports more than my husband. I I'm totally, if you could say, like, my husband keeps saying you should have been a guy. Because I am way more competitive than him. I watch sports way more than he does.
Come on, let's arm wrestle. Let's go.
Yeah, but and I know exactly what your marriage is, because there's a certain...
What do you mean you know exactly what my marriage is?
Well, okay, I don't know exactly.
You've never met my husband?
No, I haven't. I don't. But I know. But I do know, having lived all the years I've lived, and we're all mature people here, that we all know that there's a certain percentage of marriages.
You're going to really upset
I know you a long time there.
Okay.
There's a certain percentage of people who get together because the girl is the guy and the guy is the girl.
No, that's so not true.
That's just what you said.
That's so not true.
It is just what you said.
It is not what I said. I said that he says I should have been the guy because I like sports. He does sports. He surfs, he snowboards, he mountain bikes. He's a real guy.
But you obviously wear the strap on.
No, I do not.
I mean,
no, I do not.
You know.
No.
Okay. All right.
You know, I do not. You see, you're talking now in stereotypes. You're saying girls shouldn't be the way that I am.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying whatever works.
And he's a little, but he's not. He's not.
Oh, he's a big.
Not at all. Not at all.
But what's
I'm going to bring him next
No,
time.
but what's wrong with that? What's
Kitty
wrong with the woman being the strong, dominant one, and the male, if that's what he is? It's just about people meshing. That's all it's about. It doesn't matter who is the alpha and who's the beta. You're the alpha.
No.
He's the beta.
It's, you know what? It's an equilibrium in my house.
Right.
We are equals. But we're getting off the subject here because it's not about my family life.
Wait a minute. I just have a question. Does it concern you at all that the reading scores of boys are so far below the girls that they care less about school, that they're sort of second-class citizens? I mean, doesn't that
You know, it comes from the home, probably. I would say that it comes from the home.
Fatherlessness, which is a very
maybe
serious problem.
fatherlessness, or maybe coming from a kind of macho home where...
No macho homes.
But you know what?
There's so many
I
homes
don't
that are run
know
by...
how you crush
there are a lot
little
of
boy's
macho
spirit.
homes.
I don't know. I wish I could crush my son's spirit a little.
Exactly.
He's so aggressive. I mean, he'll go through in a department store, see the mannequin and grab the boobs. I mean, he's like, there's no crushing him at all.
There's a toy
How old
company.
is this kid?
6.
He's 6 and he's grabbing department store breasts? Hey, I'll take him out with me one night. I'll straighten him right out. Okay, we got to take a commercial. We'll be right back. Less competitive, more emotionally expressive, more nurturing, in short, more like girls. And I would agree with that. I think there's a movement going on in this country of feminization, that we are not okay the way we are because of the way we are. We need to be more like girls. And you say it may be that American boys don't need to be more emotional and that girls do need to be less sentimental and less self-absorbed.
Yes, I think that there's so much self-absorption and narcissism. And in our schools, they should be focused more on, opening up the children intellectually, creatively, and instead there's all of this sort of psychobabble, and the boys don't like it. There's efforts to feminize the boys. Just one quick example. A toy company decided, because they were pressured to manufacture toys that would make them more nurturing, so they had a dollhouse sort of / fort that they brought the children in to play with.
Which is a ridiculous concept to begin with.
Right, and the girls played constructively with the house and, played with the dolls and put them in the baby carriage.
And the boys wrecked it.
The boys came in and catapulted the baby carriage from the roof.
All right.
I was debating Gloria Allred because she was suing the Boy Scouts for excluding girls, and she called the Boy Scouts gender apartheid. And I told her this story, and she said if
the Boy Scouts.
Right, gender apartheid.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Bill, the sexual politics now is so ferocious, and most parents don't know what their sons are facing.
Does she want the girls to be able to become Boy Scouts?
I think she'd like to see the girls catapulting the baby carriage from the roof.
Some of them would just like us to become girls, that it would be a better world if we all just...
Well, wait a second.
Gloria Steinem says it all the time. She says we should raise our girls more...
But you're making it sound like guys were okay the way they were.
We are okay.
No, you're not.
And that is our fundamental disagreement.
You know, you're not okay. It wasn't okay the way it was. I mean,
It wasn't okay in the past, but
no,
now...
but you know, guys, you know, there are wife beaters. Okay, there's going to be one guy who got hit by his wife who goes, well, you know, women hit their husbands too. You know, but men are violent.
If you don't think that women abuse men, then you just have a different definition of what abuse is.
Physically, they do not abuse men.
They abuse in their own way.
We're not,
you know, it's different. You know,
it is different.
It is different.
Right.
It's just as painful.
Right.
That's the difference.
It isn't just as painful.
I disagree.
It isn't just as painful. Otherwise, you know, I've never seen a guy go to the hospital because he had his feelings hurt, okay?
Oh, you ever have a case of blue balls?
I honestly think that we've had about 20 years of anti-male propaganda. I checked into some of these feminist statistics, the misinformation I call it, because it is so unfair. Depicting the average male as a proto-batterer and absolutely
the first thing that
ridiculous.
popped into your head is about a guy bashing his wife.
Because they do.
They do.
Most men don't.
A lot of women marry rich guys just to take his fortune. Do you want to use that as an example of like what women do?
Right.
No. I mean,
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
But you are sort of blaming us all for what the worst of us do. And if we blamed all women for what the worst of them do, I think
But you know, but guys do that. But guys do that. Guys do that. Guys, the way women was always put down by guys. And because we were sensitive, and because we were nurturing, and because we didn't resort to violence, we were second-class citizens.
But "were" is the important word here.
And so we're not anymore. And you know what? hey, it's good, but it doesn't happen anymore.
You still seem angry.
I am angry because you're making out like men were so great before and women had such a great time, and you want us to go back to
that. But who is it that kept women down? Men. Oh, really?
Oh,
You said someday there'll be a woman president.
Well, hopefully.
Women are the majority of the voters. They do not vote for women. So it is not we who are keeping you from the White House.
Yeah.
It's true. That's true.
I do agree with you.
Women don't vote for women.
Don't you think that's conditioning?
That is insulting. We're conditioned by patriarchal oppression.
It's
That
always,
is ridiculous.
If there was a woman that you thought was great, you'd vote for her. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you?
Yeah,
don't you think
but
most women...
They don't go into politics.
I'm voting for Hillary Clinton.
Good for you.
Because I'm a New York State resident.
Good for you. If I lived there, I would vote for her too.
Yeah. I think I'd vote for Hillary if I could.
Yeah.
I do. I like Hillary. I mean, she's kind of insane, for sure.
Yeah, but
right?
it's the boys' club, Julie.
But she really wants the job so bad. I think she'd do a pretty good job if she was there. I do. Yeah. She's hung in there so much. It must mean a lot to her, right? She's put up with everything.
Right.
As a woman, I would support her if I could vote for her.
Okay, I have to ask you something. What do you foresee as the conclusion if things continue the way they are?
Oh, if things continue, I really feel we will be the first society in history where we sort of make men second-class citizens. Now, I didn't think it was good that women were second-class citizens. What I believe in as an equity feminist is fairness for men and women. But if you take an objective look at what's going on in our schools, I don't think any fair-minded person could do anything but conclude that the boys are mistreated, held back, their needs are not addressed, the girls are the sort of center of attention. We have Daughter's Day, we have all sorts of programs.
We are ahead in school shooting.
Well,
yeah.
We have to take a commercial. We'll be right back.
Will be comedy legend Michael McKeon, actress Shannon Elizabeth, author Molly Jong Fast, and from the Young America's Foundation, Melissa Moskal.
All right, we were talking about boys and girls and such. Let me twist this a little. There was a article in the paper this week about a South Carolina minister. Don't write me and say this is anti-religion. I am anti-religion, but this is nothing to do with it. He had sex with a 14-year-old Sunday school student of his. Okay, but a girl. So there's that. He was sentenced to 12 years in prison, which was reduced by the judge in half when he found out that the girl was 6 foot tall and weighed 200 pounds.
That is such a horrifying story.
Because?
Because it's like if the girl's skinny, if she's Christine Aguilera, then it's really, you should be punished. But she's a fat chick, it's not as bad. That is horrifying.
The judge should be recalled. I mean, bottom line, it's horrifying. I agree with Julie, it's horrifying. A 14-year-old girl, doesn't matter what size she is, does not know what is what, and she should not be taken advantage of by her minister.
Well, of course.
The minister, who reduced the sentence?
The judge, when he found out that the girl...
Probably because the judge was afraid of going to hell if he didn't do something, you know, good deed. And so
Do Baptists go to hell?
No, I don't know, I think so.
But, I mean, the argument has always been when someone is in court on such a case, Your Honor, she looked 18, she looked older, but, I mean, isn't this a case where the girl did look old? I mean, if she's 6 foot tall and 200 pounds...
She was in Sunday school.
Yeah, but he knew when he made the judgment that she was 14. Yeah. He knew that.
Hey, there are a lot of girls who are 14 and look a lot older, but I've never gotten in any trouble.
I tell you.
So it can happen.
And I'm not a minister.
No, but having been...
Always get 2 forms of ID.
Having been a 14-year-old girl, as I imagine we all have been 14-year-old girls, I know, back in the dark ages, I know. But you don't, I mean, when I think of what I was like when I was 14, I could have... Okay, I was not as good as I could have been, but guys...
Actually? What?
That's not, you know, that's none of your business, actually, Julie.
Well, I didn't know what you meant. Good is good.
Why? You told us about your marriage. Let's hear about your childhood.
No, I didn't know what you meant. You passed judgment on my marriage, right?
I didn't.
Let's not go there, Bill. Okay. All right. But I just think when someone in authority like that should just... It doesn't matter if she looked 18. She was in Sunday school. You're not likely to be in Sunday school when you're 18 years old, right?
Yes.
Am I right?
You are.
Yeah, a judge shouldn't be making a decision based on what the girl looked like. He should make the decision based on whether or not the minister was wrong in his...
But don't other things count? I mean, a little bit. If he coerced her and it was an aggressive assault, then of course I could understand 12 years in jail. But if it was just some human failing and they had a love affair, of course it's a terrible thing, and he should lose his job and serve some time.
12 years, see?
But 12 years in prison?
It's statutory rape.
Yeah.
Whichever way you cut it, it's statutory rape, and they should throw the book at him.
There's a human side. I mean,
I mean, it's kind of okay.
Not kind of okay, but I think just 12 years in prison to be marked as a sex predator.
Well, he was.
Yeah, he's a minister. It's Sunday
I'm not
school.
forgiving it. I'm just saying that was a very harsh sentence.
I would fry him like battered shrimp.
Thank you.
We got to take a break. The new album, Bad Religion, and the book, or I would say listen to this while you're reading this. Tomorrow, Michael McKean.